snowfall totals trickling in spots where you have seen a good amount of snow so far with this event. Wind Hall over in southern Vermont, which sits at an elevation of about 2,000 feet, now has 9 inches of fresh snow on the ground. Looking around a half foot or so in Lake Pleasant and Altamont. Meanwhile, it is 4.2 in Gloversville, also around 4 for Greenville in Greene County. As we look towards western Massachusetts, Beckett is picking up just shy of 3 inches so far. Malta around an inch. Same story for Lake George. Meanwhile, in Albany, we picked up a slushy about 3/10 of an inch, but that was last night. That's gone. As of course, we've been dealing with some rain off and on through the course of the night and now into this morning. You can see a few melted snowflakes, but it looks a little bit drippier right now in Schenectady with our Proctor's Theater cameras. Across the Capital District, it's been mostly rain so far, cold rain at that, but we will see some snowflakes trying to mix in. In fact, that has been the trend here over, let's say, maybe the past half hour, 45 minutes. The radar is picking up on snow from Albany, Troy, also into Schenectady, but I think most of those snowflakes, especially closer to the Hudson River, are really wet, so they're going to be melting as soon as they touch any surfaces. It is more rain as we continue down the Hudson River towards Hudson, Saugerties as well. Some snow continuing to take hold and hang on into some of the higher spots of Columbia, Rensselaer County as well. And then traveling north, it has just been all snow as well. That's not going to change as we work through the day. And of course, where it does stay snow longer, we will see some of those higher snowfall totals. And that's where we have that winter storm warning that will continue until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Western Rensselaer County back into Columbia, Greene counties as well. It's a winter weather advisory. That's out just because your snowfall totals aren't going to be quite as high. Travel impacts, though, will still be significant in some cases, especially if we get a little bit of icing going on with the rain that is falling, hitting a cold surface. Think bridges, overpasses, they would freeze first. So travel impacts will stay on the high side during the day, even overnight as we switch over to widespread snow once again. But as the snow starts to pull out overnight, we'll start to scale back those travel impacts and it will be a little bit easier to get around. This nor'easter coming off the Jersey Shore, coming into New England as we go into the second part of the day. That will help to wrap around some colder air. So we do make the change back to widespread snow. Later tonight, we're going to start to see that snow pushing away, first exiting areas like the Catskills that got the snow first last night. Last spots by morning would be closer to Lake George, also into New England. Rest of the weekend is looking a lot quieter for us as we pull that system away. With the mixing lower lying spots, think just from the Hudson River eastward, expecting the lower snowfall totals around 2 to 5 inches. I think Albany is probably going to be closer to a half foot once things are all said and done. But of course, continuing to climb in elevation, it's going to be a winter wonderland with this heavy, wet snow that continues to fall. For the valley locations, periods of rain and snow today above 1,000 feet. It does stay all snow today, high of 35 in Albany. Back to all snow as we wrap up this storm later on tonight. Still could see some flakes towards morning, but then we're done with this storm. Rest of the weekend looks quiet, just cold, closer to freezing on Sunday. And next week, there is a lot more cold brewing, especially as we begin winter. The winter solstice is next Wednesday, as those numbers will keep on falling as we close out next week.
Thank you, Jill. 9:18 right now. Out west in Amsterdam, the city is under a snow emergency. They're expected to get about a foot or so of snow in the next day.
Yeah, and crews have been out there working hard all morning long already, salting those roads, making sure everything is safe. From motorists, Skylar Eagle has been out there this morning for us. And what are you seeing right now, Skylar? It's definitely cold.
Yeah, cold is one way to put it, Ryan and Stephanie. A bit freezing out here, and the snow is coming sideways, so it's starting to hit me in the face a little bit. It's not fun, right? But the snow has definitely picked up over the last half hour. We're actually starting to see it coat some of the roads. I'm going to give you a closer look at that right now. You know, earlier we talked about the slush that was coating the roads, how that was making for some slippery, slidey conditions. You can see that car sliding around the corner there just now, but now that snow starting to stick to the roads a little more as it starts to fall more frequently over the last half hour, and that's going to create even slippier conditions. We're starting to see, you know, that slush build up on the roads, kind of create a coating. And we've seen a couple plow trucks, a couple salt trucks drive by over the last hour or so, but those conditions are still something to really be aware of if you are driving. anywhere near here this morning. Make sure you're taking time to really drive slow. Give yourself as much time as possible on any commute you might be making, and take those turns and twists really slowly, because that slush, it's no joke. You really got to just be careful out there. We'll keep a closer eye on the road conditions here in Johnstown over the next half hour for you. But for now, live in Johnstown, Skylar Eagle, News 10 ABC.